Extraordinary news. Thank you.
And in a very fast pace that you need a lot to be able to, report effectively and, of course, deepen your own core competence in relation to issues around digital economy. Sorry. So this will be the outline for the discussion this morning. The introduction of ITR, the concept of ITR, targeted objectives of the new ITR regulatory regime, main players within the, when I say ITR, I mean international termination rate, please, and kindly be brave enough to punctuate me if I use any terminology that is not explained and you may need to understand. But I know that as ICT reporters, some of the things are already within your domain. Historical antecedents on the international termination rate issue in Nigeria, then the new ITR determination, implementation issues on the new ITR determination, how we are addressing those issues and challenges, and the issues of asymmetry within the ITR domain. All right, let me start with what is happening at the moment. The Commission in November 2021, in 2021, carried out a case study on mobile international termination rate for voice services in Nigeria. And this was followed by the issuance of a determination in line with the regulatory mandate of the Commission. And this happened in November 2021, November 25, and it took effect from January 1, 2022. Let me start by saying that when we say issuing a determination, the digital economy is expanding every day, as I said earlier. And new products, new services, new technologies, innovations are throwing up a lot of new areas, new market segments. Initially, what used to be simple voice and data service has so transformed into something that is more than 20 right now. Right from, if you are talking of the wholesale lease line area to the, retail market area, the upstream and the downstream. In telecom now we have upstream, we have downstream. So within those domains there are new services, of course new market segments. And the global perspective to it is that every market segment now should be specifically regulated. Otherwise, if you have a blanket regulation for all, there will be problem. Some will begin to contradict with each other. So for each of the new markets that are coming up, are being thrown up, there's need to create a regulatory, a rule that will help to moderate those markets. The underlying factor, as we know, is competition. The market was liberalized since 2001, substantially, when, private sector participation, came into play within the communication sector. And since then, a lot of other new areas and new markets are coming up. And so this is a new area, so to say, that it's not too new, but at some point it became so entrenched that it needs its own specific rule to guide the conduct of players within that market. So that was why the commission, decided to carry out a study and then issue the determination on the conduct of players within the international traffic transmission. Okay. Well, because anything new will always have some challenges. When the determination was issued and took effect in January this year, a lot of stakeholders had issues, misconceptions, and questions, reactions, came on board. But as we could see, as we progress, they are being gradually, addressed. Let's start with the concept of the ITR, International Termination Rate. The ITR is the rate or amount charged for terminating inbound international calls into the network of domestic, in our own context, Nigerian operators. It is for international traffic service, inbound, because that is the one each country can regulate. We don't have capacity to regulate the one going out because it's going out and terminating in the network of other countries. So those countries will regulate. Our own outgoing is the inbound to them. Okay, so the one that each country has power to regulate is what is coming into the country, inbound traffic. Then let me explain the fact that it is different from the MTR. The MTR is mobile termination rate for domestic voice and message services. Let me start with the MTR before going international, actually, briefly. When you that have Airtel, you call MTN. The call originates from your phone and into Airtel's network. Then Airtel will, from its own network, drop that call into the network of MTN. Then MTN will now look for a subscriber that you want to reach and then pass the call to the person. But between them, between the two operators, Airtel is now asking for a service from MTN because the subscriber you are calling is on MTN's network. So the Airtel subscriber that you have already, told Airtel, please get me the person, the subscriber that is in MTN. So there is a rate that they pay to themselves, not what you are charged. What you are charged is the retail tariff. But amongst them, they settle themselves for you dropping your call into my network and being a service to you as the other network service provider. So that rate is what we call mobile termination rate. Okay? It's possible that Airtel may have charged you, 10 naira. But there is a rate among them which, of course, is regulated. Presently, that rate is 3 naira 90 kobo for taking a call from another network and bringing it into my own network. As for example, MTN, you are going to pay me for me helping you to carry that call to my subscriber that you want to reach. If it is from Airtel network to another Airtel subscriber, there's nothing to do with mobile termination rate because it's the same network. So if he has collected 10 naira from you, he will keep that whole 10 naira to himself. But where it has to be another network that you are calling the subscriber in that network, of course, there has to be some payments among them. So that is the mobile termination rate that they pay to themselves for terminating in each other's network. It's actually equivalent to the international one, except that the other one is now foreign. Okay? Then we say it is a service export. I'm talking of, we are going now international. We are done with the mobile termination rate. I just want us to have the background, how the mobile termination rate, MTR, which is domestic, relate maybe to the international one. But the point of reference and of this discussion, you know, is understanding international termination rate. But I just want you to have an idea of the domestic leg, its domestic equivalent,